Swimming like a shark in a shrimp tank. Big fish, small pond in the shrimp tank. When it's sink or swim, only option is to win. In the murky water, not a thought of giving in. Welcome to the shrimp tank. Want to put it all together, this is big things. Doing big things. We ain't in the same league. Running a campaign, Roadie 2016. Like a phone that died, putting me in charge. I'm a general from the front, I'ma lead the charge. Like a federal, fell on my lap, never. Going hard as ever.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode here on the Shrimp Tank Podcast, powered by Celsius Beverage. If it's your first time tuning in, of course, catch all these amazing episodes up on our website, shrimptankpodcast.com. And of course, we come live every single Wednesday, right around 1 o'clock on our Instagram account at Shrimp Tank Boca, as well as our YouTube account. So each and every week, we get to find the do's and don'ts of running a business. This is where street smarts and book smarts collide. We do this show with 30, 40 FAU students sitting in the audience. They participate live on air. And we are the only university in the world that I'm aware of that really have all these students learning from these entrepreneurs. So each and every week, we have some unique individuals. But today, I'm really excited because we do a lot with Cindy Metzler, and her TEDx Boca Raton is coming up in May. And we are actually going to see on air today one of the speakers that will be there, Eric Martino. And I'm excited. He can't tell us what he's going to talk about on stage, of course. But to kick things off, Eric, we like all of our students to see an elevator pitch. So we want you to get right into it. But you got 1 minute, just like TEDx. They say you only have, I think they do 12 minutes now. They used to do 18 minutes. Yeah. But you got to get right to the point, right? People talk too much, right? And if you meet someone really quickly at the Hard Rock in an elevator, sometimes you got just 30 seconds or a minute to make your point. So go ahead. Tell these students who you are.
It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Eric Martino. I am the president of the Hard Rock Cafe and Retail Division, spanning over 73 different countries, close to about 170 cafe and retail shops worldwide and globally. And I'm here to make experiences that rock.
That is awesome. I think he just nailed it, right? And he's going to nail his TED Talk. So, of course, if you want to see his TED Talk live in person, Boca Raton, of course, go right to the website, TEDxBocaRaton.com, or go over to their Instagram account at TEDx Boca. And I've been a big part of that every year, actually, since they started. Cindy Metzler, a really cool story, actually. Talk about relationships and podcasting. She's like, you should do the Shrimp Tank live in front of everyone. And I was like, I don't know how to do that, but it sounds fun. And she convinced me 1 year back in, I think, 2018 to do it. And because of just saying yes, we pushed ourselves to do a live podcast right at TEDx Boca Raton. And since then, we've done it every single time she's thrown her TED Talks. And it's become a theme, actually, with my other brand, Owl, where we end up doing these live podcasts. So I got to put you on the spot. Are we going to do a live podcast at the Hard Rock someday? They do it at the Wynn Hotel. Can we do this?
I say let's do it. Let's make it happen. We'll get on stage at the Hard Rock Cafe and we'll do a live podcast.
Because it's cool. Like, have you been to the Wynn? They have that one glass screen when you walk down that one alleyway. And everyone walks by and their heads always turn. They're like, what's going on in that room?
Yeah, I think it's an absolute incredible idea. You know, we've got amazing performances that happen all the time. So, Jason, love to have you down there. And
let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, let's introduce the other people on air today. Kevin Cox, who's usually my co-host of the show, is out really pushing the Adams Center for Entrepreneurship really throughout the United States right now, learning from other incubators. So he actually had to attend a different event. So we have Doug, is it Muir?
Yeah.
Yes, he joins Kevin every single week. Why don't you say a couple words?
Hey, everybody. My name is Douglas Muir, and I assist Kevin in the entrepreneurship program. I'm an entrepreneur myself. I own a hedge fund locally here. Became smart in 2020 and moved down from New York City to Boca Raton. Love it.
Smart man. And who is the guest that will be joining us for the game show today?
Hi, my name's Megan. I'm currently a junior here at FAU, and my partner and I are actually working on a startup in Mr. Cox's class. It's a surfing and paddleboarding speaker. It's called Ripple, and it's actually going to be launching on Kickstarter in the next upcoming months.
That's fun. That is awesome.
Sounds like we should get a Hard Rock rap on that speaker.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, so Eric and Doug, you're right. Every week, what makes the show really unique is we kick things off with a game show. So many podcasts out there do a formal interview, but we like to switch things up and get the students involved. So we have Henry here, who created a game show for us today. We don't know what it's going to be about, but he's going to explain the instructions, and there will be a winner. So I guess we have to put a bet, right? Do we have to put a bet down here?
Hey, look,
right?
Win and roll.
You know, Hard Rock is all about gambling. Everybody out there might not know, but I almost went professional poker player right out of college. Yeah, it was the big poker boom. Everyone played online.
Well, good to know that.
And I got really, really into it. Started a family, focused more on financial services, and really didn't have the time to gamble. So I always played it more on the safer side. I love playing poker. That's what relaxes me. I vacation all around the country, all around the world. I always look for a poker table when I do travel. So what happens if I win? Do I get what are we betting over here?
Well, I'm on the non-gaming side, so I can get you an amazing classic Hard Rock T-shirt and a
Okay.
legendary burger.
Okay. Well, I could gamble with some Celsius over here. How about I will if I win?
Okay. Let's do.
If I win, you have to treat me and my team to the Hard Rock Cafe in Hollywood. If you win, you get every Celsius on this table.
Okay, that's a done deal. That's a done deal.
That's a deal.
That's a done deal.
Okay.
All right.
Awesome. Let's start the
How
show.
big's your team?
How about little the whole student, all the students? They're part of my team right here.
Fort Atlantic.
Well, you guys are all coming with me, so give me the answers.
All right, let's go. Thank you very much, Jason. So the game today will be called True or False for the Shark Tank Pitch Edition. So in total, we're going to have 5 rounds, and each round I will name one crazy product idea. Your job will be to guess whether it is true and that product was really pitched at a Shark Tank in any side of the world, or fake and I just completely made the product up, or the product exists but it wasn't pitched on live during the Shark Tank. After everyone guesses, I will reveal the answer and we move on to the next pitch. The person with the most right answers wins. And in case of a tie, we are going to have one more round as a tiebreaker. Everyone good?
Good to go.
Eric's going to need some help.
Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Let's go for the first round and the first product. The first product is called Licky Brush. Licky Brush is a cat brush designed to be held in the human's mouth, allowing them to groom their cat with a silicone tongue, simulating the bonding experience of a mother cat licking her kittens. Was this in a Shark Tank pitch, live pitch, or
not? Eric. I'll let you kick things off.
Oh man, as quickly as I would be to line up for that product, I would have to say that's false.
Okay, let's see what everyone else says.
I have to agree with Eric. It's false.
Megan?
I think it's false as well.
All right, Jason. Are we gonna have one person too?
Jason,
the odd one out.
It seems like we all should pick false, but there's got to be a reason why we want to pick true. And in my gambling ways, I'm going to take risk right now because it's 3-1. I'm going to say true. It was somehow aired because they made fun of it, and TV is all about making fun of certain products that try to go to market. So I'm going true.
Well, risk reward indeed. It was pitched in the Shark Tank. Wow. This is a real product.
Job, man.
All right.
Remember, it's TV. It's not a real pitch competition.
All right. So Jason with 1 point. Let's go to the second one. The second product is called Sobrella. It's a mini foldable covers that protect only your shoes whenever it rains. All right, let's go. Start with Jason. Since you won, you got the point. So
false.
Eric.
I'm gonna go with false.
Okay.
So now, as Jason knows, in gambling, if you keep doubling up and doubling up,
doubling down, you got to be careful.
All of a sudden, but I'm gonna have to say false. I'm going false again.
Megan, are you gonna be the?
I'm gonna switch it up and just say true.
Ooh, nice. So this one was not pitched. I just made it up 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
So we got Doug, Jason with 2 points, and Eric with 1 point as well. Let's go to the.
Doug got it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doug got a point. Sorry. Let's go now to the third round. The product right now, it's called Heavy Head. It's a weighted baseball cap designed to strengthen your neck while you are walking.
I think we can start
downtown.
Yeah,
you start now.
I'm gonna go. It seems a little dangerous, but I'll say true.
Yeah, I'm gonna go true.
I'm gonna say true as well.
We go false.
All right. And Jason with another point here. Yes, I also made it.
Stage.
I know this product.
You know, it's like when you're on the craps table, there's the pass line, then the do not pass. Everyone plays the pass line, but you know the odds. It's actually the people who are going against the grain usually do better, unfortunately.
Yeah, I know a lot of my boxing friends that would actually love this product as well. Let's go to the fourth round. The fourth product is called Wake and Bacon. It's a wooden alarm clock that allows users to wake up to the smelling of cooking bacon. So the users, they just place the frozen strips the night before, and whenever the alarm clock goes off,
You had to go first. You're in the restaurant field. Is this real? Does this exist?
Oh my gosh.
Bacon smells good.
there's no way. I mean, I feel like there's a hazard there somewhere.
Yeah,
There might
I'm gonna
be.
go false.
All right.
yeah, I got to go false.
Me too. I'm gonna go false.
I actually know the answer to this
Oh, you
because
do.
we had someone on the show that had a whole product around bacon. It's true. This exists.
This
It
is
does.
true.
I know.
It's true.
It's true.
I actually remember the person
Unbelievable.
telling the story about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
She would make like bacon bouquet. She had a whole brand around bacon, and it came
That's
up.
amazing.
Wait, isn't that insider trading?
Potentially.
I mean, on Wall Street, on Wall Street, we call that insider trading.
Because I'm a good entrepreneur. I know a lot about bacon.
Yeah. And then let's go to the fifth and final round. The product is called the No Phone. So the No Phone is a literal fake block of plastic, which is marketed as a technology-free alternative to a constant phone use.
We'll start down there this time.
I think that's true.
True.
I'm gonna go false.
That one's true.
Is
I
it
think
true?
I've seen that one.
That
as well.
one is true. There you
Man.
go.
Did
All right.
I 5
I was
or
going
5?
against the grain
Yeah,
on that
you
one.
went.
So we got 2 points.
I really
Yeah.
wanted a hard.
Jason got 5 to
experience.
5. Yeah,
Alright,
you
man.
got everything right.
Whoa.
You know
Congratulations.
when you want to come down.
Yeah,
The only risk we played
absolutely.
was actually the first one. The first one was where I took the risk.
Well, that was it, everyone. Jason, you won by a big
Sure.
margin.
we could do a double down round. where
Sure.
Doug gets into the betting.
Yeah,
And-
absolutely.
And Doug,
Yeah.
you want to bet anything
Yeah.
to try to we sweep it over? Will you win the round?
I'll do a double down.
Okay. So
All right.
now Doug's
So
paying
I
for the
have two.
cafe,
Yeah. Okay. Good.
and he has potential to get all the Celsius if he does the
Every-
sweep.
Me
I
on
win.
Celsius. That's
Yeah.
what we need.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
like this.
Another round that we are going to do is called the pet rock, where someone is literally selling a rock as their pet.
Absolutely.
You have to go first, Doug.
Yes, absolutely. Pet rock.
Yeah,
I think that's true.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think that one is too.
The thing is, this product does exist, but it was not pitched on
Oh,
Shark
right.
Tank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great
Okay.
question.
Oh,
There you
Yeah,
go,
that's
trick
smart,
question.
that's smart. He tricked us.
Absolutely.
And you guys did
I
good
can
job.
just let's see. I know another one that might be that it's a really good one just for one final round,
Well,
maybe.
let's do it.
All right.
Doug has to go.
The last one is the Cow Cafe. It's a movable truck where where people can drink their coffee while petting the cows.
Hmm.
And you're saying that was pitched?
Yes.
No.
I feel like that might be true.
I'm gonna go false.
I'm gonna go with true. I'm just gonna go with it.
All right, half. Yeah, I just made that up. We actually had this
Ah.
one pitch
Like
in
Sweet
Kevin's
Sonata.
class.
Yes.
He knows us.
There we go.
So
We're
there you
calling
go.
that,
All
baby.
right, Jason.
Well, even
or
though
nothing,
you guys had it
I
right,
think.
thank you very much. This was the game today, Jason. Congratulations on your win.
Good game show. That was good.
That was good.
That was a lot of fun.
Good job, Megan, as well. And love your idea, by the way. So
Thank you.
we hope that it does well on Kickstarter.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
you have a phenomenal next 12 months, of course.
Thank you. Thank you
Awesome.
for having
Awesome.
me.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank
Okay,
you.
Eric, on this segment of the show, we really want to learn about your entrepreneurial journey. So to kick things off, kind of share how you got really into the restaurant industry. Like, was it, in your bloodline? Was it part of your family? Did you do it while you were in high school, for example? And then eventually you just had a passion for it. And then,
Yeah.
fast forward today, how do you get this opportunity to work with one of the most well-recognized brands in the world, the Hard Rock line, of course.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Well, first, it's a pleasure to be here and tell this story. So, anybody who's interested in getting into the restaurant business, it's not for the faint of heart, right? It's a business that's very challenging. There's small margins, and you end up becoming a lot of things to a lot of people. You are an entrepreneur. You are a custodian of health regulations. You are a parent. You are a coach. You're a teacher. You're all these things. So I've always said that in the most entrepreneurial spirit, if you can run a restaurant, you can do anything in business because it's so many business underneath one thing, right? And so I never wanted to be in it, first and foremost. I got into it. I'm originally from South Florida here, and I started in the business at 14 because I had to. I had a real challenging, childhood growing up, and I moved out at a young age. And so I was homeless, essentially. And, at that age, you got to figure out how to eat, right? And you got to figure out how to stack money and figure out what you can do to get cash quickly. Because I had a passion for sports, and I was playing sports, and I was involved in a lot of things at school to keep myself sort of out of trouble. But I had to figure it out. And so I was working at, some small independent restaurant groups, restaurants in North Palm Beach at the time, rolling pizza dough and doing all these things. Back then, there's this big number 10 cans that I remember working with these older gentlemen rolling pizza doughs, so they're smoking cigarettes and all this stuff. And I'm just, they took me under their wing and showed me how to do all these things, and did all of that. And then in between kind of, houses and living here and living there, I stumbled across this one place that I worked with a girl I was dating at the time. As I was just turned 15, it was called Carrabba's Italian Grill. Everybody know Carrabba's Italian Grill. And so that's where I really got my first initial start into what I call my official start of the business. And I started off as a busboy and washing dishes and doing everything that it takes there as an hourly employee. And through that time, I had held different positions all the way up to being a server. And even at one point where it was a Friday, Saturday night, actually in Boynton Beach, the appetizer cook didn't show up, and they were in a scramble. And the managing partner at the time says, he was a mentor of mine. He goes, "Hey, like we need some help on the line. You've been here long enough. Do you want to do it?" I said, "Sure, I'll do it." So he gives me a chef coat and an apron. I go back there and just start cooking. And I had never done that before in my life.
And I think that's so important, because whenever I talk to successful entrepreneurs, they just say the words yes, right? Or word yes, right? And they just figured it out. So often people think they have to know everything before jumping in. And sometimes you have to take that chance, right? Going back to me taking the chance and saying true earlier in the episode, I'm like, okay, 3 verse 1, maybe there's a reason, right? And sometimes you learn along the way, and it makes you a better entrepreneur. Yeah, of course, or a better person as well, not even just an entrepreneur.
It does. And I think, just to that point, you've got to really, as an entrepreneur, you've got to understand that there's so much on the other side of fear, right? Because you have to automatically understand that, hey, as an entrepreneur, you're going to have fear. That's part of the process of growth. You're going to establish that. And once you get past being uncomfortable in that situation, there's so much growth of it. I mean, anyone who's been on a roller coaster gets nervous about getting in line and getting on it. But the peaks and valleys of what that is in that ride, you come off and you're like, man, I want to do that again. That was really awesome. That's entrepreneurship. So, doing that for a long time. And through my journey at Carrabba's, I held different positions as an hourly, as a manager. And I left from South Florida and went to Colorado and to try to get back into school, because I didn't finish school. I was trying to play college sports at the time as a basketball player. Those of you can't see me, I'm 5'10" in Italian, and there's not many of us in the NBA, but I swear I was going to be in the NBA. I still play to this day. I was really good at this time, so I was trying to do that and trying to hold down this job. But the restaurant business taught me a lot in that process. And I remember telling myself, I don't want to be in this business for long. I'm just going to do it part-time. I think a lot of people in the industry just say they just want to do this part-time. Yeah. And because it is a difficult business. And what changed for me in that aspect is that, there's this story of, again, being an entrepreneurial spirit, you figure things out. Yeah. And I was a server, about 18 years old. And I go up to this table, and it's a busy night. It's like a Friday night. It's slammed. And I have a 3-table section, and there's these 2 ladies and a little boy. And the little boy was hearing impaired. And when I went to the table, I was doing my typical spiel. Hey, my name's Eric. Welcome to Carrabba's. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. What can I get you started off with? Some appetizers, etc. And the kid wasn't responding to me, and his mom was signing to him because he was hearing impaired. And so she was signing him what he wants. He was signing back, and he was signing that he wanted a cheeseburger. Well, we didn't serve cheeseburgers at Carrabba's. Those who've been to Carrabba's, we don't have cheeseburgers. We just, have pizzas and chicken fingers and pasta. But Jason, the look on him when she signed back to him that we didn't have what he wanted was the saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. Oh, wow. And the look on his face was just like, he was just disheveled. He got dragged out there by his mom and his aunt. They've been shopping all day. He's 6 years old. And here he was like he wants a cheeseburger.
Yeah, I got an 11 and 9-year-old. That's all. It's cheeseburger, chicken fingers, or grilled cheese. That's it. They don't. Some of them like pasta and Italian food, but not most of the food at Carrabba's, of course.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And so I remember going, well, we can maybe do something for him. And she's like, no, don't worry about it. He'll be fine. Just get him a cheese pizza, and we'll move on. I said, oh, okay. So I go up to my managing partner, and I say, the guy in charge, and I said, hey, his name's Scott. And I said, hey, Scott, there's a kid, table 73. His name's Daryl, by the way.
Yeah.
He's hearing impaired. Can we get him a cheeseburger? We got fresh ground beef and pork back there. Can we do something for him? And he looks at me and he goes, no, we can't do it. I go, what do you mean? And one of our commitments to our guests then was anything goes. He goes, Eric, I understand what you're trying to do. I said, but Scott, anything goes. What about our commitment to our customers? He goes, he puts his hand on my back and he pulls me to the line. And of course, the kitchen is just in disarray. They're busy. There's tickets everywhere, food everywhere. So he's like, we can't do it. We just don't have the time. And I said, Scott, well then, listen, there's a McDonald's across the street. Let me go across the street and go grab one. He's like, I'm not letting you go to McDonald's to grab a cheeseburger to bring him food in this restaurant. I said, well, you're going to let me do it or I'm going to quit and I'm going to do it anyway. And in my mind, I was like, I'm going to do this thing.
Yeah.
And so, I take off my apron and he goes, you really want to do this? I said, yeah, I want to do it. Fine, go do it. He's like super, mad at me at this point. I said, watch my tables. I'll be right back. So I go across the street. I grab a cheeseburger. I grab a hamburger. I bring it back over to the line. And I remember unraveling like the orange and like yellow crinkly paper on like the ceramic plate and the light is shining down. And I bring it out to the table and the look on his face, Jason, was the best thing I've ever seen in my life. It was the best thing. And, that emotional connection, I get, choked up about it.
Sure.
Because it's such an important thing because I realized that day, I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do the rest of my life because my head and heart was perfectly aligned at that moment saying, this is what you're called to do. And I felt that way in a 3-table section waiting on a table. What could I do if I ran a restaurant one day?
Yeah.
Or what could I do if I ran a restaurant company one day? And so, I kept tabs with Daryl for months and years after that, because you have a connection with people when you realize your calling. And his mom was so thankful. And the look, she's like, why wouldn't you? And I said, listen, you're in my life for an hour. Why wouldn't I make it the most memorable hour of your life? Kid's been cheated out of life. Give him a cheeseburger. And so I've been chasing that my entire life. And the reason why I'm in this business is because of Daryl.
Yeah. No, I love that story.
Yeah.
I checked in. I only stayed at the Ritz in Orlando once ever. And it was last summer.
Yeah.
And there was a long line.
Yeah.
And of course, Ritz are expensive, right? And we walk in and they're known for service.
Yeah.
And I immediately understood it wasn't about the pool. It wasn't about how nice the hotel was. It was all about the service. The person took us to a shop right next door and said, would your kids like anything to eat? Would you guys like a coffee? And every single person at the Ritz has their credit card where they could actually, they don't have to justify the expenses. They could swipe X amount per person. And I learned that later after that experience. I'm like, oh my God, that was such a unique experience. And I will never forget it because people will never forget the way you make them feel. And lots of times it does not have to be something expensive. People get that wrong. It could be a traditional note card saying, thank you. What you sent to me or what you told me meant the world. Right. And when people get a card, it just means so much more than a text message because we all have texts.
Absolutely.
Texts could come across lazy, of course. Emails come across lazy and good old phone calls even. Right.
Absolutely.
When you think about how often people jump to texting everyone, where if you just use the tone of your voice and say, hey, if you need a hand on something, I'm always happy to help assist you, or sorry to hear about what happened, blank, blank, blank. Is there anything I could do? Right. It goes a lot further. So, kudos to you for running to get that
thanks to Daryl.
Cheeseburger. Doug, what do you think about this?
As I told you, I had 41 restaurants at one time in my life. I did well in the restaurant industry. Service was great. The thing that I concentrated on was employees.
Mm-hmm.
The national average, as you know, is 33%. I had less than a 4% turnover rate. I gave medical, dental, eye insurance, 1-week paid vacation, and a gym membership. Cost me 6% to the bottom line, but I was making about 15, so I was fine with that. There's a lot of people, as you know.
Kill for that, by the way. Too.
Absolutely, that's why my turnover rate was so low.
That's why he's on the. He moved to Florida. Is in the hedge fund space.
Right. And it was amazing how when I sold the company to a private equity firm, they just took all that away, and the default rate went to 33%.
Yeah.
But the thing that I always watched out for were the scammers.
Yeah.
And the people who would come in and just destroy and talk to my employees like they were less than.
Right.
And I would walk up to them and I would just kneel down. I said, I don't think this place is for you.
That's right.
And like, well, what do you mean? You need to leave. Like, get out.
Yeah.
And the amount of cred that gave to me with my employees, because they knew I treated them like
For
gold.
sure.
That's one. And none of them ever said, well, that's not my job, because they would see me on a Saturday night and guess who doesn't show up? The dish.
Yeah.
the dish guy.
Which is the
And
most
I'm in the
important.
$1,000 suit. I'm back. I'm dish. I love dishes. By the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I'm a great. If you want to hire me over there, I'm really good. And so,
Well,
just
you lost the bet. You're cooking for us at the cafe.
how do you
Yeah.
find great employees on the restaurant side
Yeah.
of the Hard Rock Cafe? I wouldn't think that'd be too hard because you probably give everything I was giving.
We give everything and more, right? Absolutely. And we have such a legacy tenure within our organization. I mean, the cafe has been around, it'll be 56 years this year, which is incredible. And I look at it as a 56-year-old startup because there's a lot of cool new energy and stuff that we're doing. But I think, when you look at how we treat our employees, it's best in class across the board on everything we do. We pay the highest minimum wage. We pay the highest minimum wage. We offer some benefits, obviously, and it's also the continuous education that we provide them too, and educating them. I think there's a really good, clear path of how we can career path them and also let them grow. A lot of them just want to stay where they're at, but it's how we take care of them. And they're part of an amazing culture, right? That's been around and that resonates across the globe. I think you tie it back to our mottos also. In this world, even today, like when you look about our mottos and who we are, one of them is all is one, right? Love all, serve all, take time to be kind, save the planet. Those 4 mottos, I mean, how important are they more so today than anything? And it's such a divisive time. And it's not only the things that are on a wall or in your pocket, but it's stuff that we model on a daily basis from top down and everywhere, right? From the newest hourly employee that comes in to the president of the company and our CEO, we embody that culture, right? And so I think, it's the benefits are great. Absolutely. We pay great. Awesome. We're an amazing brand with a great trajectory, and we're just getting started. I, really definitely feel like our best days are ahead of us, but it's also what we believe in and how we model on a daily basis and the culture that we create.
What is the expansion plan for the Hard Rock?
For the cafes?
Yes.
Well, right now we're assessing all of that. It's a challenging time in the restaurant industry. We've got the most incredible locations, and so we're working on assessing, where markets we're going to be in and where we're not. We've got an incredible franchise portfolio across and internationally. So right now, where we're honing in on just getting our operations tight where they need to be, looking at what locations we're going to continue to operate in, and then really expanding our franchise model.
Can you explain to all students in the audience, because Hard Rock's been around for a long time, but most people in South Florida know it as the Guitar Hotel, right?
Yeah.
It's all over town. Every time I open up social media, I'm getting, tagged in ads, probably because I'm a gambler. But, I'm sure everybody else is as well,
Yeah.
right? It's very well known and everyone knows about that. But you're more on the cafe side and the retail side, which lots of people don't probably know. When you go to the Hard Rock site, like they are in many countries. Like I know that because I'm logging into my Unity account and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't know this existed. Like Dominican Republic has a beautiful Hard Rock as an example.
Absolutely.
But all across the world. So can you just, I guess, talk from the top down a little bit, just the Hard Rock as a total brand, and then go a little deeper into the side that you touch more on, even the retail side as well.
Well, so Hard Rock is essentially it's a lifestyle brand. It started off as a cafe, and it's grown into this incredible lifestyle brand that you see today across several lines of business. One of them casinos, hotels, digital gaming, and then also the cafe and retail side. And I specifically oversee, serve, and lead the cafe and retail division, as it were, which is split up in owned and also franchised. The Seminole Travel Florida is our ownership group, who is the best in class ownership group, I must say. And that's who helps expand us, globally and where we're at. So my reach is about, we have about 44 owned corporate cafes, and then probably 167, 169, 170, depending on the day, franchise side that expand over 73.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're everywhere. And we have them in our casinos, obviously, our hotels, integrated resorts, and standalone high street locations.
And I'm assuming there'll be one in the new Vegas is obviously building a huge guitar. It's going to
be
the talk of town when it's complete.
It'll be the tall structure in Las
It's
Vegas.
right where the Mirage, right? Mirage is, and it's right across from Venetian Wynn over there.
Wow.
So of course, I'm assuming there'll be a cafe. right?
There will not be
Oh,
at this
no.
time. We're talking about that. We have the cafe down the street though,
Okay.
which we just invested in a gigantic sign. You should see the sign. We
Nice.
just got it fired up today, actually, so it's going to help modernize the building a little bit.
awesome.
So that cafe experience will remain iconic in that location, while there's going to be really impressive dynamic F&B programming in the Guitar Hotel.
That is cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you see this structure being built, it's incredible. I mean, you can't get a better location. It's main 50-yard line on the strip.
And now I got to ask you about the pins. So my wife used to collect them, and my kids do more of the pins at Disney World, and they trade for pins. But my wife had a jean jacket, and she's like, I'm gonna send you a picture. She has all these pins. When she was young, she would collect them, and her friends would go to different Hard Rocks. So can you speak to the pin community for a moment?
So I just had a roundtable actually with some of our most loyal fans, and there's some of our fans that have visited 400, 500 locations. I mean, it's a real underground super fan loyalist base. And I learn a lot from them, because I think a big part of being an entrepreneur, you got to listen and hear what's going on, who's in the streets, and giving you all the tips and details. But yeah, the pin collection, we have these events that happen called Pinsanity that happen a lot worldwide in our cafes, and we've got an amazing retail team that is dedicated to making those pins. We actually have the local team that actually makes pins too, that reflect the locality of the location also, so it's got a little nuance and taste of the local area as well. But these things are diehard. They get traded all over the place. They're worth lots of money, and so we've got some diehard collectors out there for sure.
Well, we might have to add one with the shrimp on it at some point, right?
We might put one out there.
Could be the next 2026 for this
out.
episode on the shrimp tank.
Yeah, we could figure that out.
Okay, why don't we switch gears? Let's let some of the FEU students come up and ask you some questions. So if you're in the audience right now and have a question for Eric, just line up right up here, of course. Say who you are and fire away a question. Okay, Henry's back. He wants more.
Hey, Henry.
I'm back.
True or false?
True. He's telling the truth right now.
Yeah. First of all, I just wanted to know a little bit about how did you get to the position of being manager of because my father, he started off with a lot of restaurants as well, but they never worked well. Yeah. So I just wanted to know a little bit about your history and how.
I appreciate the question, because I was getting before I talked about Daryl and the cheeseburger story. So I think that from there, right, I became a managing partner. I was a research and development chef for Carrabba's. I was with Carrabba's for 18 years. So I was very much institutionalized there for a long time. And I learned so much from incredible mentors and leaders, and really had, at the time, the most incredible executives in the restaurant industry. But I was concerned about being institutionalized as sort of a corporate restaurant person, because it got pretty corporate then. And I moved to Nashville. So I lived in Colorado, went to Kansas City, and then I moved to Nashville, where I became the VP of operations for a small restaurant group. And with there, it was called M Street Entertainment Group, where it was amazing. We got to do conceptual design and all these things. And there was actually a time where I had to become the Japanese sushi chef of this restaurant for like 9 months. Don't ask. So the shrimp I want to put in nigiri and like roll it up and put in some tempura. But when I was there for about 6.5 years, so I got a lot of experience there. I learned that, and then I got tapped to be the chief operating officer for Jose Andres Group. Okay. So if everybody knows Jose Andres, he's a chef, humanitarian, amazing. Started World Central Kitchen. Incredible entrepreneur himself, creative, celebrity, incredible. I was his chief operating officer for almost 8 years. And then from there, I wanted to start my own company, because I was like, all right, I got enough experience to do this. So I started what was called Culture Hospitality Group. And that was focused on helping developers come up with conceptual designs for restaurants, et cetera, and then growing operational leadership within the industry, basically, because there's a certain point where I think in the development stages of the hospitality industry where the learning stops. So I wanted to create curriculum and understanding of how to be that entrepreneur broken down in these 4 quadrants. So I was doing that, off running, having fun, and I got tapped by Michael Mina, who was another chef celebrity who was amazing. He said, "Hey, are you in the market? Do you want to be my president?" I said, "Okay, great. Let's sign a deal." So we did, and I was doing that, having a great time. And I was back in there and going to Vegas and San Francisco, growing and helping his company. We did some really good concepts, had a good time. And then Hard Rock asked me if I'd be interested, and I interviewed for the job. And by the grace of God, I'm super grateful that the board and the executive senior leadership team picked me to be here. And it's just so ironic that I'm from South Florida. I've had all this experience. what ignited my passion was a cheeseburger, and what I'm doing now is the president of a company that sells cheeseburgers and t-shirts. It's pretty full circle.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Your dreams can come true. If I can do it, anyone can do it.
I love it.
That's how I got here.
I love
In
it.
a short stint.
Well, I think Hard Rock wouldn't want to have you leave, but one day you might be the CEO of McDonald's, maybe. And
I would eat the hamburger.
and you're taking
Bro, you saw that, right?
and you're taking that bite of that hamburger.
Not on my gym program.
Hi, I'm back. I have one question because I currently do work in like the restaurant industry. I've been in it for a couple years now. I'm a server right now in Delray.
Great.
But how would you recommend that I go about like getting a higher role, like something in management or something like that?
Oh, this is easy. You just start working for him.
Yeah.
Look, we're hiring. Yeah, we're always hiring
I
great
saw that
people.
one coming.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you just got the ability to say yes, right? I always say add value to anyone who's around you, right? Add value to your customers, your guests, add value to your teammates, add value to your management team, and be the one that comes in early and stays late and goes the extra mile. If you do that and you got the work ethic, you can make it far in this business because it's always about growth in this business. So I think just continue to be added value and you'll continue to get those. And also just tell them, because I'm sure they'd want you to manager, like the industry is hurting so bad for talented, good people.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
I'll,
so much.
and I'll add to that, the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
That's right.
So what ends up happening in a lot of organizations, if you don't step up and ask, you're never going to get anything, right? The only answer you're going to get is a no, maybe. Like if you say, hey, I really want to do this part of, my role, or you see somebody else role, hey, when that role opens up, can you consider me for the role? But if you don't put yourself in a position where they're thinking of you, you're never going to, get that knock on your door. So I think you have to be that squeaky wheel often. I mean, I've been that squeaky wheel too often, to be honest. Sometimes you put yourself in trouble, right? But like everyone sometimes asks me, like, how did you get involved with Florida Atlantic University? And I'm not kidding. I just literally had someone interning for me. And I said, I have this podcast show idea. I'm going to pay for everything. I was like, can you ask Kevin Cox at the time? And back then he was not the full director and did not have all this authorization he has today. And he's like, yeah, we'll roll with it. It's at your office. We'll do it. So he took the chance. I took the chance. And actually, it was actually interesting. Last night, there was a big event called the Maverick event where Melissa Medina spoke, who runs Emerge Americas. And the president of the university was there. Kevin was there. And so was the dean of the College of Business. And it was cool to see Shrimp Tank was under the full umbrella. And through all that, all it took was one question, one knock on the door to say, hey, you want to do a podcast? Right. So often you don't know. Like early in the show, I asked him, I'm like, we should do a podcast like the Wynn Hotel. Like he thought I was kidding, but I'm really not. Like I think that would make it really unique that when you went in, somewhere in the lobby and there's a podcast going on.
Absolutely.
And me and him are maybe having episode number 2 there. Right.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, who is that? And like, oh, that's the president of Hard Rock Cafe right there. Right. And that's Jason from the Shrimp Tank. And, you have to do new things, but you always just have to put yourself in a position to get the yes. Right. Cindy Metzer, I mentioned earlier, invited me to do a TEDx, podcast in front of the attendees. And I had no idea how to set that up. And to be honest, we didn't do a good job. We did a good job, what we thought then, but we gotten so much better since. And, he didn't know much about sushi, right? He said earlier, but he's like, I'll figure it out. 9 months later, he's like, wow.
Yeah.
He has a whole background now where he could lose another bet to me and serve me sushi.
And as Eric said, it's not hard to stand out in the industry. If you show up early and leave late, you're top 1%. Come sober, you're top 99.5%.
Be dependable.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
be dependable.
And we'll come up to you and say there's a position opening, assistant manager, whatever it may be. Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I think a lot of the younger generation is not leveraging LinkedIn enough, right? If you go onto LinkedIn, right, his title's up there and you connect with him and message him generally. Say, hey, I'm, currently enrolled at FAU, and just message like, hey, is there any opportunities? You'd be shocked how much easier it is than the major sites like Indeed and Handshake that most people typically are just like pointed to from career centers or through professors saying, oh, you want a job? Go on those traditional routes where LinkedIn. How many messages do you get on LinkedIn just asking for a job?
Oh, all the time.
You do?
All the time. Daily.
But
probably 20, 30, like not even kidding.
I thought you were going to say no. You do get that many.
Absolutely.
But from students.
Oh, from students? Rarely ever.
That's where I was going.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Most
these
of
are
it
the
is
professionals, people.
or for people, more commonly, over age 35 asking where versus student asking.
Yeah.
It's gonna be viewed differently when it hits your inbox.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's where I was going.
Got it.
Awesome. Great question.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck.
Hey, Eric, I just got a quick question on the Carrabba's. Absolutely loved your bread until you removed it. The Carrabba's, was it a proprietary type of bottle or was it a franchise model?
It was a proprietary model. So we were invested
Yeah.
about 25K. We got 10% of the bottom line, and then there was a 5-year deal with it. Yeah.
You went 10% of the bottom line,
Yeah.
not doing like I did 7% of the top line revenue.
Right. Yeah. You
So
got
let me ask you
10%
how
of
you
what
feel
was-
about that, because I could make those numbers at the bottom line turn zero all the time.
Yeah.
The top line you can't. So
Well, we received 10% of what was on the bottom. That was our partnership.
okay.
So whatever we delivered to the bottom, which I was doing 18-20% back then, which is great. We were killing it.
Right.
I got 10% of that as a partner.
I
That
got it.
makes sense. Yeah. Of that percent. Yeah. But again, your point,
That's an Outback Steakhouse.
it's the same model,
Yeah.
same exact model.
That was
Yeah.
an interesting model.
It was a great model.
I looked at that.
It created so much ownership and
Yeah.
it drove amazing performance, right? Which is why they were so successful. Doesn't exist anymore, I don't think.
No. That's
Okay, I'm going to put someone on the spot today. So Cindy Metzler's in the crowd who runs TEDx Boca Raton. So Cindy, the final question of the day
All right.
is going to go to you, Cindy. I want to hear why you selected Eric as a TEDx speaker, because usually hundreds and hundreds of applicants come across your desk. You get DMs all the time. People ask me, how do I get involved with a TEDx? And I'm always like, talk to Cindy Metzler. But of course, she looks for the best out there. So can you share why you selected Eric, and of course ask Eric a question?
Well, Eric shared a lot of his story, and I think that's one of the reasons that he stood out, right? I mean, one of the reasons that I volunteer my time with TEDx Boca Raton is to help messages like Eric's get out there.
Yeah.
So his story about being homeless at 14 years old and then and I'm going to get emotional thinking about it too, getting to be where he is right now
Of course.
is inspiration for so many people. And that's one of the reasons that I am very passionate about TEDx Boca. I'm so excited to have Eric on the stage. We have
Thanks,
Lonnie
Cindy.
here, who is a TEDx coach. She's going to meet him after and
Awesome.
hopefully work on
Help
your
me.
talk.
Help me figure it out.
So no, I think hopefully it was I was completely inspired. And I think that it's such a great story to share that you could really do anything if you set your mind to it, right?
That's right. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. For
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. So thank you.
No, thank
Thank you.
Awesome, Cindy. And I don't think he needs as much help on his talk as he does his gambling, right? Because when you look at it, like I bet him a couple Celsius cans. I bet him.
lost my
I
shirt
bet him a
over
couple
here.
Celsius cans for a whole meal, and he took that bait. Right? The odds were, of course, stacked in my favor there. But Eric, it was awesome having you on the show
Thank you.
today.
absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah,
Why don't we end today's episode with, if you were in their shoes today, as students, right? A lot of them are juniors and seniors graduating. Some of them are going to enter the restaurant sphere, right? What would you advise them if you were looking back and you were 21 years old
Yeah.
and about to go on your journey?
I would say be relentless and don't let the self-doubt that comes in your mind, that inner dialogue, get in the way of you achieving what you are destined to achieve. That's part of the process. That's part you grow. And I would also say whatever is that you are trying to achieve and you want to get there relentlessly, it takes consistency and it takes discipline and it takes repetition. You need to starve the habits that keep you away from reaching that goal. So if you are on a course and you want to go do something and you know that these things in your way are not going to get you there, then you need to stop doing those things so that way you can reach your goals. And as you continue to go and you become more successful, sometimes you have to leave things and people behind, and that's okay. That's part of the attrition. That's the way to be successful.
Well said. Well, Eric, thank you for joining us on the Shrimp Tank
Thanks.
today.
It's a pleasure.
Doug, thanks
Thank
for
you.
co-hosting the
Thanks,
show
Ed.
with me
Thanks,
today.
guys.
Absolutely.
Everybody listening, we will have our season finale next Wednesday,
Mm.
1 o'clock. All these students, we're making it a new thing. They all have to create a business concept throughout the semester and launch
That's
a business,
awesome. Wow.
and they're going to pitch their businesses live on air. So like Eric,
Oh, I will be
like Henry
tuning
was
in.
doing true or false, that they're going to really try to make their visions come alive and get true answers, right?
Yeah.
Of course, live pitches here on the Shrimp Tank. So thanks for joining us today,
Thank you.
and we'll be back
Thank you,
next
Eric.
Wednesday
Thanks,
right
guys.
around 1 o'clock. Take care.